Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian,
Go on, everybody.
Brett,
Hey, Sifu, you look beautiful, but sayonara.
and friend of the show and host of the Strat Chat pod, Kyle Petty.
Hi, hello.
As you guys can see here in the thumbnail and the title, we are here to talk Survivor 45. This is episode 7, entitled The Thorn in My Thumb. We are merged. We are now talking jury. We are now going to really have all going, but I'm going to say merged.
I know.
We are
Sort of,
merged
not
here,
really.
guys, but we find ourselves again having the tribes split up, multiple tribal councils, multiple immunity idols, a reward tied in to the group. A couple, throw a few immunity idols out there. A lot of back talking back and forth, and you gave yourself a pretty convoluted Survivor episode. I want to start with our guest, as always, Kyle, and then we'll move over to Brett, then Brian. Just like, what were your overall impressions on the episode? And then, we can move into the eliminations.
I actually thought it was rather enjoyable for the sole exception of that. Like, I'm tired of the smaller voting groups. Like, I'm ready for one tribe. Like, you said that we merged last time and now we didn't. And that we're still dealing with these, like, 3-on-3 type numbers. Like, I'm just getting a little exhausted with that. Like, I want to see how everyone gets on, like, working as one. Because the politics change so much at that stage. And, like, every time we're back to six, we're back to six. And it's just very frustrating.
I have three key thoughts, I guess. The first one is, of course, my queen Emily. She's now the sole remaining Lululemon on the tribe. So I was actually
True.
surprised that she was willing to sort of betray Caleb and like let him go, I guess, after last week. I thought maybe he could kind of work his way back in. Clearly not. But she's the only one left. Second thought was I thought this was like Jake's hero arc. I really thought when they had like a flash forward of tribal and they were showing Jake like predict, oh, we're gonna scare Austin, we're gonna go to Rocks. I was super stoked. I thought it was gonna be a lot of fun to watch, and I thought it was gonna happen, and it didn't happen. The third thing is, I really want to know what Jeff sees in Bruce because it seems like every other human being on Earth, except maybe his family, hates this guy.
Sucks.
Those were actually three actually really valid points. Bry, what do you have as kind of thoughts off the top before we kind of dive in?
Yeah, I agree with Kyle. I'm so sick of these little tribes and I just want to see him play Survivor. And I don't know. It's just I feel like these 90 minutes, man. I don't need it. I don't want it. I'm done with it.
Well, you guys have been mad about the two tribe or not, whatever it is, but I think we've always talked about we want to see two tribes, not three. So why are you mad about
I
two
want two
tribes?
tribes at the beginning of the show. I don't want two tribes when when there's only now one tribe. I don't want that. Nah.
Two
Yes, I
teams, no
want two
teams.
tribes when it's not just six people. Like, once you get to be this small, then you might as well just be three again. I want two tribes because I want the voting groups to be larger. Like, that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for like to be some fluidity here. Like, I feel like there's not a lot of wiggle room. It's like, if I don't get this one person, then I'm not going to be able to get what I want done. And it's like, I'm tired of that. Like, let's talk to everybody else. Like, who else is over there gathering seashells at the seashore? Like, that's what I'm looking for. And like, there, you don't have a lot of movement. Like,
I
groups
kind
are
of
just too small.
I kind of agree on like so points on both sides. So I know that you, Brett, and I know Kyle, you guys watch Australian Survivor, right? And that is like more of that traditional two tribe kind of aspect, longer episodes.
Mm-hmm,
And I
mm-hmm.
did like the fact that like I said, I have a lot of notes here, and a lot of people can say like nothing happened. A lot of people can say a lot happened, but like one thing I will say is a couple weeks in a row now, I've enjoyed the fact that by seeing camp life, and we've always asked for more camp life, I don't know who's going home. I don't know if someone's going to play an idol, right? I have genuinely enjoyed going into tribal councils this season, especially the last, say, 2 to 3 weeks, because I feel like they've presented enough opportunities where there's like 2 to 3 people who could genuinely go with two different people, right? And so there are a lot of fluid alliances and options still, but I just think that I would like to see that, like you're saying, Kyle, on just more of a more week to week basis with the whole group involved, and not splitting the voting groups and having two people be. I don't want two people to be safe right now. I want one person to be safe. Like, so I think there's elements to both of it, but like I said, I have overall enjoyed and thought the decisions that have been made in these tribals have made sense. I think the two people that went home tonight strategically were good picks by the groups overall. I don't think there was like a dumb decision made tonight.
Yeah. I think it would be fun to actually do what we're doing now, but do it from the beginning. So just start with two tribes and just make them swap every week randomly.
You know what? If it's something different, I would endorse it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm more on board for that
Facts.
because again, you don't know, you can't predict the outcome of that because you've got enough people that you can be talking to, because when you compare this to the way that Australia does things, it's like their game is so much longer. You're getting so much more of those game conversations. And like when you get to each tribal, you don't know what's going to go on. And you almost see their version of this as like two separate games being played at the same time. Yeah, we're meeting together at these challenges and things like that, but everyone has their own, there's a whole different social dynamic and structure that sets up every single tribal, and it's so exciting when they go to merge. It's like, holy crap, wait, we're putting all of that stuff with all of this stuff, like that's wild. And like these, when you start off with 3 groups of 6, it's like that's not super exciting when they all come together because they didn't have enough time to flesh out everything, especially this season where Lulu got absolutely decimated. So it's like it's not even exciting that Lulu is coming in. The story now becomes, well, how does Lulu survive? I don't care how Lulu survives. Like, what about everybody else? Like, there's so many other storylines that don't get to be explored because we're focusing on the failure of Lulu. Yeah.
The starting with 3 tribes, I definitely hate. I think Jeff has said that he likes the smaller tribes, and these, whatever we're doing, it's always a vote of like 5 or 6 people. I agree. I don't really like that because one vote can basically flip the whole thing. I'd rather see if in a larger tribe you can have 2, 3, 4 factions, and one like 4 people can vote, people can vote another way, 2 people can vote. Yeah, I don't know.
Right. You get a ton more like of those split votes, and that's what's exciting.
Yeah, he preaches about a social game, and it's like they're doing like everything but they're just throwing more idols in.
Yes.
It's a landslide vote every single time. It's never like you said, like when what Brett just said, where it used to be like sub factions of the group was the cool part. You're like, oh, we know they're gonna vote for this guy that they hate because he's an old like white dude yelling at him all the time. And then maybe once in a while other people will hop on because they don't know who to vote for. And it's just the same shit every week.
I kind of like agree with you guys too, because it's like if you have the 2 big groups, like Kyle saying, develop it, and they come in and they have relative even numbers or even numbers. It's like I remember in early seasons there'd be the one person that would betray their tribe, right? And it was a big deal that somebody crossed the lines, right? There are no lines that cross right now. You guys are saying there's Bello strong and Reba strong, but there's kind of old Bello, new Bello, kind of the mix. They kind of hate, Reba kind of all hates each other, sort of, we think, but they end up still voting together, but not like it's you said that it's like I want like when someone betrays someone to be like, damn,
it means something.
Like,
Reba did vote out the people they hated from their tribe, and it looks like Katura just flipped on Blue. I think moving forward, she might have just bailed ship on that one.
Yeah, Jake hit the, and I guess let's talk about the 2 tribals quickly here. We could start with the second tribal since Brett brought Jake up. Jake turned on Caleb. That was the turn vote. It seems like there, not the turn vote, but he, when you saw that overwhelm, the number going high up, he did admit that he changed up on the plans there. I mean, they were talking about getting rid of Julie.
Jake was trying to keep Caleb. Katura is the one that betrayed Caleb.
Yeah, but then he also said at the very, very end of the episode, it was me.
Oh, he was telling Julie he voted for her because she
voted for her. Oh, okay. Well, either way, that's fine with me then. That's kind of funny. I'm actually gonna be a funny.
The guy got 12 votes last week. I mean, of course he's gonna go.
Smoked.
He only survived because of producer manipulation. Put on my tinfoil hat.
Nope.
I was totally really hoping
I totally agree.
What's gonna happen?
What'd you say?
I agree that was manipulated. That was absolutely. I'm sorry. That shot in the dark was complete bullshit. Sorry.
What'd you say, Brett?
I was saying, like I said earlier, I really wish when Jake was like, "Oh, we're gonna split the vote, then we're gonna revote, and then we're gonna go to Rocks and Austin. He's a little baby, and he's gonna flip sides, and he's gonna vote
Playing
Julie
scared.
out." That was playing scared. Like I was like, I want to see this, and it didn't happen.
I mean, yeah, look, he was a big target. It was worth it. I mean, it's good on him, I guess, for getting to have that survivor moment. He will be on the jury. Um, the person will not be on the jury because that was the losing group that their tribal council would not count, right? That would be Sifu.
I liked
Um,
him.
I liked Sifu as well. That
You
was
did.
definitely a Sifu blindside. It seems like that Bruce, Kendra, Kelly were able to stick with I guess like Drew and Emily. Like where did it all go down there? Where what did we learn from that vote?
Kelly's controlling her side of the game on blue because she's the one that wants Bruce there. Everyone else on blue, except for Jake, hates Bruce. But Kelly's like, well, Bruce trusts me, so I'm going to keep him in the game. So that's why she basically made the decision that we're keeping Bruce and going for Sifu. And Red never liked Sifu for some reason, so they were like, all right, cool, we'll let him go. And I don't think we got too much other than crazy from Sifu earlier, but in this episode, he was a little more normal. And I feel bad for him because he really wanted to be jury. And
Dude, he had an awesome
just
exit interview, I thought. Like he was like, I'm happy to be here. He wasn't like a like crybaby like
I
any of
liked
these
him.
other people. Like I thought like he respected the game. He's like, I wanted to be here, but I lost and I'm out. And he had a cool exit interview. And I was like, I like this guy.
Right, you're right about Kelly. She's like, she's basically goes to Kendra and she's like, "You will make up with Bruce. You don't have to like him, but you will reconcile." She's like Tony Soprano. She's like, "You
Like
will go and make friends."
using the force.
she's not wrong.
Kendra's like, "I really don't like him though."
Am I the only one who was tired of Sifu? I'm the only one. I'm tired of him talking in the third person. I'm tired of his like.
More tired than
It's like
Bruce
enough
than
now.
Sifu.
Don't see
I
him.
don't.
Oh,
Yeah, he'll see you, man. He'll come get you with his
no,
his
but hold on
jujitsu.
now. I just because I said I was tired of Sifu does not mean that I'm not tired of Bruce. Like
Would you
one does
rather see
not mean the
Bruce or
other.
Sifu out? Like, who annoys you more?
Oh, I mean, if it came down to the two of them, that's the decision I had to make. I think Bruce is out. Bruce is annoying as hell. And like, he was definitely pulling on our heartstrings a little bit. Like, unfortunately, I hate that plays into Emily's whole thing, like on that boat, because like while I don't think that he had an actual strategic layup on anyone else, like, right, because he didn't actually get to play the game. So like the platform she was trying to build, I don't actually think was valid, but because you felt bad for him and his experience the last time, it's like you almost wanted to root for him. So I could see that people who wanted to play this game that bad would want to root for him too and leave him in so that he gets the survivor experience. But
I take
sorry,
him out first. Take him out
yeah.
first. If I was my choice, just
What
because of that. Unless I liked him when I met him, but a returning player, you got to
But
go.
does he even count as a returning player though? Like he literally never played. He never saw camp except for like when he was already damaged.
He was like concussed.
Something sticks out
Right.
about
like
him. Well,
phasing
that's what
out
I
on the
was. So speaking of that, so like I mean, I originally thought Bruce was a huge threat because if he gets the final three, he could potentially win it because of his story. However, at this point, they were saying they want to take Bruce out because he's a shield. Well, he's a shield now, but he can't make it to final three. I think Bruce in final
Take him
three
with you.
almost he's a goat to sacrifice because he's not going to win. I don't think
I
because
take him with me.
yeah, I
Kelly's
would.
smart. Take him with you. No one's gonna vote for him.
I mean,
Yeah, she still
anybody
wants
can
to take
vote for
him out.
anybody now, man. Look at some of these past winners.
Listen, I think that like the fact I'd rather bring him more along with me because like you're saying, if you're thinking of kind of like Big Brother, like no one's voting for him. That's my opinion. I'm not saying no, maybe he'll get a vote. I really don't think he's gonna be able to weave any story that like he was a mastermind or that he's sympathetic. One thing I'm looking forward to looking into now next week again is something we've seen a lot all season, but it's like where's Katura lie? Especially with Katura finding out this week about Bruce's idol and how the whole tribe had lied to her about it. Like she's like saying that like she might just spitefully just go over to Reba and just start voting with them. So do we think she stays loyal or what do we think like her next move is?
I think that's hard to say.
So yeah, I
Because
think it depends
because
on
you don't want to go Reba when you started Bello, because like you're walking in the bottom of something, right? It depends on how much we believe in the whole Reba Strong concept. Because I don't want to walk into Alliance in the bottom.
Girls Alliance. I think they foreshadowed a Girls Alliance in the trailer. Plus, that makes sense because I think Katura would still be loyal to Kelly and Kendra, but I think Jake's on the outs. Bruce was already on the outs as far as her standpoint, and I think Red would go along with the Girls Alliance and still somewhat try to protect their guys if they can, but take them out if they need to because they have idols.
Mm.
I mean, the homie Napoleon Dynamite needs to bring his backpack with him, man. What's he doing?
Napoleon Dynamite.
I thought he was going home as soon as he said that.
Yeah, I was like, what is this guy doing? I was like hoping he'd go home. Ugh.
Last
Hey,
thing I
they're
want to
merged.
mention.
It's not his fault.
Last thing I want to mention. We get the auction next week.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, that's fun. Wait, last thing, let's circle back to one of the comments that D made. I don't understand some of the way that these new school people are playing. Like D being in the water, and it's just so she won immunity, good for her. And she's like, well, I'm in the position of power, and this is what I want. What are you talking about? Like, you're not in a position of power. Like, these people who win immunity all of a sudden just think that they get to call all these shots like they're a leader all of a sudden. And it's like, all you are is safe. Like, even in Big Brother, all that means you get to do is put up the people for discussion for elimination. Like, you're not actually in charge of anything. So, like, you don't get to just float around the water and like wash yourself off and just like call all these shots. Like, what is that? Like, am I missing something?
Well, in Big Brother, it makes sense because you literally pick 2 or 3 people to leave. But in
It
Survivor,
makes sense
I
to an
agree with you.
extent, but
I
like
agree with
I
you.
can't stand that style of gameplay at all. Like, it's simply because you put 2 people up does not mean I have to go with whatever you said. You don't even have a vote. The game is built that way for a reason. I get to vote however I want to. And I feel like it holds even less weight in Survivor because you
Yeah.
didn't even have the right to put up somebody. Like, you're just safe. Like,
I'm really
you're
glad
not
you
in any
said.
power.
I'm really glad you said that just because of the Big Brother I've watched where they're like, well, I need to appease the HOH. And I'm like,
I hate it. I hate it. Appease the HOH for what? They have no power next week. They can't even win HOH again. What are you talking about? Like, that's not a thing. Not a thing.
What the house wants.
Ugh.
Yeah, fuck the house.
I'm saying, fuck the house is right. Listen, I'd be out so
Yeah,
quick because I wouldn't be following any of these rules.
No,
Yeah.
they would never cast me.
No, absolutely
Uh,
not. But in Survivor,
Ask me.
I just
Ask
think
me.
it's
I'm
even more
gonna
ridiculous.
fuck shit up.
And this is
Um,
not anything against D. I actually really like D.
I like D too.
I think she's a
Those
strong
toes,
competitor.
man. Those toes helped her win today, man.
They sure did. They sure did. And she's got beautiful feet. Like, what are we gonna say about that? But like I feel like she's absolutely a competition threat. Like, we're going to see her like late in this game, like for sure. Watch her go home next week because I said all
She's
these
gonna be a
things.
target though. I think people
Oh.
realize she's strong now, so she's gonna have to start winning a bunch.
Jake.
I think.
She is, but do you think right in this
Jake
stage?
wanted her out.
Maybe
Somebody
soon.
made that
I don't know about
comment.
now.
Do
There's
you think
there's
so?
too many annoying people left, which is good for the people that are kind of
Right. It's good for D. It's good for D.
I'm really pissed Jake didn't get his way, like I said, because he was like, "Oh, I got to disarm D and take out Julie," which I was like, "Ooh, this is fun." So
It made sense. Like I like the idea that it's like, okay, I can't take her out right away, but we can strip a vote away from her. But again, that's old Survivor where like it would make sense when you had like big groups, right? And you're trying to strip numbers down. It's just it's a great sentiment, but like again, I think it would have more impact. I think we all have like a common like sentiment here that like we're overall enjoying this more than we have enjoyed it, but there's still some flaws here that like we would love to see maybe like fixed going forward. So I think overall more positive than negative though, which I didn't think that was going to happen to me this year with Survivor.
I'm not negative on it.
I'm saying, but I'm more positive than negative. I'm usually more negative than positive. So, like I've said, I'm
be
pleased.
negative. I'm fine with that role. Embrace it.
Hey, at
Are
least
you
this
more
challenge-
positive than negative this season?
The challenge was an old school one, so hang on a pole for dear life. Like,
Yeah, but is that a positive or negative though? Because it's like we've seen that exact one before.
How long did Emily last? Like a breath?
She's
I
loyal
kind
to-
of respect that though. If you know you're not going to win, screw it.
Get the hell out of there.
I also love
Save
how
your energy.
when they fall down, they act like they just fell off a mountain. They're like, like Sifu fell down. And I think the earth shook. He fell like he acted like he fell down
Laying
like
there like Bruce on a beach.
Yeah.
Do they ever show us like how they got up there in the first place? Like we come back from commercial break and people are just up on the top.
Yeah,
Like how? How? Like was there a ladder involved? Like you can't tell me these people shimmied all the way
A
up.
fire truck.
I would hope that it's a ladder
Fire truck.
for every person at the same time. Because if it's one ladder, then they have to take turns, and that means the first person's at a disadvantage.
Totally asked out, right?
Yeah.
Hang on tight, baby.
That's why Emily fell first. She was the one that had the first ladder.
She was exhausted.
It's a truck. Maybe it's
Yeah,
like
she
a
got there first. Yeah, that is
flatbed.
bullshit. That's true.
A flatbed truck just lays across all of it, and so
Mm.
they all stand on the truck and then jump. They're like already 6 feet up in the air, or whatever it is.
Damn, you think Jeff brought machines to the island?
Yes.
Machines
What
may
the
already just
island
be
wants.
there since they're always swimming in Fiji. Like that
The
seems
The
to
island
not
always
change
knows,
anymore.
Brian. Yeah, now I'm literally gonna sit here and think about like how they all went up at the same time. That's where all
Yeah.
the production budget
That's
goes.
the
It's probably like
first thing
12
I
trucks.
thought. It's like, well, how did you get up there in the first place? I already know I couldn't be on that. I would just slide down just
You just
because
go
nature
nuts.
was taking its course. But like, even just as far as like holding there for you long enough for you to be able to say, all right, the competition is on. It's like, I don't even know how that'd be possible. I already were on the ground.
I feel like whatever position I choose is the one I'm locking in on, and if I let go, I'm falling. So I don't want to fall from the top. So I'd probably like shimmy myself down at the beginning and just like chill at the very bottom and hold on for dear life.
You're like,
Oh my
I'm
God,
holding
these
on until
splinters.
100 or 0, and then I'm just letting go. I'm not gonna catch myself again. I kind of respect that, honestly. Like, screw it.
I'm
I agree. I'm
accepting
not
the
letting
fact that
go
I'm
from
out
the
of
top.
here.
I'm breaking my ankles.
Yeah, if I have energy to shimmy myself down, that means I had energy to stay.
Right.
I just wouldn't want to hold on to the pole. It's just
No.
I don't know how.
Well, Dee didn't even win with her toes. She did the leg wrap strategy where her butt was on the pole and her
They were
leg
zooming in on those toes, though.
They
at the
just wanted a
beginning.
reason to do so.
More than one reason to do so. Make sure you're checking out everything here, subscribe here and on TikTok, catch everything Survivor, CBS Reality, all the other shows we're covering. Kyle, let us know what's going on with the Strat Chat Pod.
Yes, Stretch Up Pod is live twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. We're talking Survivor 45 on Monday. Honestly, everyone else I talk about this with, it's going to be overwhelmingly positive. They have nothing negative to say, which is like kind of a bummer, So come watch me be the one dissenter. You can find us in the socials at Strat Chat Pod.
Yeah, Big Brother coming to an end tomorrow night.
It is. We're ready. We're ready for it. I have
Ready.
nothing more to say about that.
Who do you think
I'm
wins?
tired. I'm tired of Big Brother 25.
Who do you
been
think
a
wins?
long
He's asking
season.
who you think wins. BJ?
I think Matt wins if he's in the final, no matter who he's next to, and I think Jag would hopefully cut Matt if he has the choice and win against Bowie.
I think that's really the deciding factor, right? It depends on who cuts who at this last stage, because of the three of them, no one's made a very big social move. I think of the three of them, the best person to say that they made something big would actually be Matt, because he was the one that saved Jag with that power of invincibility.
Yep.
If not for that, Jag wouldn't even be here. So as far as like a big social upset, the only one that did that was Matt, and everyone knew it was coming because he told them. So like, it almost kind of took some of the wind out of his own sails.
I think you're disagreeing with yourself from your own Strat Chat where you said that, just because that happened, he doesn't deserve to redeem himself just because he got saved.
But I don't like any of them. I don't think any of them deserve to win. Like at this, that's really the problem. Like I like you may have made a move, but is it a winning move? Like, no, I don't like this final three. I would have been a little bit more satisfied, honestly, with a Felicia win. She may not have had the comp wins, but like she definitely was working like the social angle of the thing. And I think that
she was bruising everyone near the end. People weren't liking her.
No, they weren't liking her. I would not.
That house is so boring now. That episode where they're like doing a recap when they're like robots eating dinner, that was like mind-numbingly awful.
Yeah, I tuned in for like 2 minutes because I was at my partner's house and I was like, oh wait, I forgot that Big Brother was on. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh, this looks painful. Them sitting around the table, like clearly just reciting lines that they memorized all day. Like it was really, really painful. I don't
Oh
ever
yeah,
like
that's
that.
so funny. Oh yeah, I'm Billy J.
Yeah.
I say nothing original.
Yes.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
Well, I'll be tuning in.
Awful.
I'm going to tune in for sure. Post our recordings tomorrow. I'm going to get all your reactions, Kyle and the crew. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Like I said, make sure you check them out on socials, like and subscribe for us on TikTok and YouTube. But until next time, for myself, Brian, Brett, and Kyle, thank you
Mhm.
for watching. Peace.